Hey everyone, today I am going to talk to you about my hair in boot camp. So this was one of my biggest concerns before I was going to boot camp, and it proved correct because I know I made some mistakes going to boot camp. I know that I did not want to cut my hair, and at the time they were still cutting hair in boot camp, but now they're not, so if I was to go now, I wouldn't have so much of a concern. But what I did was I put my hair in a sew-in. Now, learning from my mistakes, I still would have done a sew-in, but I would have done it differently. So the first mistake I did was to let my sister braid my hair. And I told her to braid it as tight as possible because I wanted it to last throughout the 2 months. But that was a huge mistake because she braided it way too tight, and my hair ended up getting so damaged in the middle because the middle was like the tightest part. When I took it down, my hair was, I don't know, I think it was not blistered, but it was so sensitive that it was pussing. So that's a mistake that I wouldn't do. What I ended up doing was just making like 4 big braids and making a perimeter braid and sewing my weave onto my perimeter braid, and I didn't have any leave out, so it was a complete sew-in, and that sufficed for about a month and a half. Now, the second mistake I would have that I would change is the fact that I did not bring a needle and thread with me. I ended up having my mother send it to me. Oh my gosh, I'm missing the earring. I ended up having my mother send it to me, and with every package, your RDCs have to check it, and they have to know what the content is. So what I would do next time, well, there will be no next time, but next time, okay, if I was to go again, what I would do is I would buy a small thread and a needle, and pack it away with me. Excuse me. Because although they tell you that you have to throw everything away, they don't check what you have, and as long as it's small enough to fit into your drawer, your own personal drawer, you have a lock and a key, and it's usually around your It's usually around your dog tags, so it's on you at all times. Your RDCs do have a like an extra key, but they only use it if it's absolutely necessary. Like if there is suspicion that you have like a cell phone in your locker or something. So yeah, I would bring a little needle and thread with me. And also, what I did was I sewed it onto a cap, and then sewed the cap onto my head. And that I would not change because that benefited me so much. I ended up being able to use my needle and thread, but my RDCs had a lot of like, I don't know, they were really upset. Not upset, but they didn't like it, so they didn't really want me to, but they let me. And yeah, so I would definitely sew it on a cap again and then put it on my head. That's only if you really want to do a sew-in for boot camp. Now the rules have changed, so you really don't have to do a sew-in. Next thing is I had a bonnet with me. So at nighttime, I definitely slept with my bonnet on my head to try to preserve my weave. And you put it on before you go to sleep, or you put it on like when the lights turn out and your RDCs are gone, and then you just take it off when your RDCs come back. I know that my RDCs caught me a few times with it on, just my chief, and he was pretty ticked about that. So I would definitely say bring a bonnet, not one of those like full tie-on scarves. I wouldn't say bring that, but a bonnet was super easy. I always stuck it back into my drawer, Sometimes I put it in my the pouch of my sweatsuit, but then I would forget it. It wasn't a good idea. So if I would have gotten caught with it in my sweatsuit, it would have been all hell to pay. So yeah, I like that idea. And the last thing I would do is, okay, so I went to the beauty supply store to get hair, but the beauty supply store lady was trying to talk me out of getting good hair, and she was saying you should get something that's not so expensive, because in boot camp you're gonna get dirty and stuff like that, which I really didn't get dirty. I don't know if it's because I was in like a division with like a triple threat division where we like did entertainment stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty much for all divisions, because all the equipment that we use, all the facilities that we use are indoors, unless your RDCs tell you that they want to go outside and drill, and that's pretty much the only time that you're outside to do like an actual activity, unless you're like transitioning from one building to the next. You're not outside at all. And the last thing I would do is, well, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, so I would get better hair than I did the last time, just so that you wouldn't have to deal with tangling and stuff like that if you decided to go longer or something like that. So I didn't really have to deal with any tangling per se, because the hair was so short. So if you're thinking about a bob, definitely go with not grade A quality, like 5A quality hair, but I would definitely say go with something a little bit more expensive than Doobie Remy. I mean, it's pretty good hair, but then again, and in boot camp, who are you really trying to get cute for? Honestly, there are some couples that come out of boot camp, and sorry for the adjustment. There are some couples that come out of boot camp, but they don't stay together, so it doesn't even matter. So if you want to get cheap hair, get cheap hair, but if you want to get expensive hair, do your thing, because now that they're not cutting hair, you can leave your hair under the cap and let it grow. So what I would recommend is that you take it out once a month, and you're only there twice a month, and let it air out, wash it so it doesn't get matted up, because that definitely happened to me in boot camp. My hair got matted up, and it was just a struggle untangling it and washing it and stuff like that. I actually stayed up at nighttime to do that, so I missed sleep that night, and it was on a night that I didn't have to do any watch, so thank God for that. Last thing, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions about hair in boot camp, I will definitely answer those questions. And if you have any questions about how to do a bun, just ask, and I will make a video of it. But if no one has a question about it, I just won't. So yeah, rate, comment, and subscribe. And good night, you guys.